Everybody, please take a seat. Thank you. I heard Ed and for Judge and Jerry. Elaine's got it. Another Israeli melody I think we have. Oh, you guys got very quiet. Trained well. Which song? Shabbat Shalom, welcome to Temple Beth-El. If you are here for your first or second time, if you will just raise your hand. It is wonderful. I know that half of you are lying because I know who you are, but it is nice to have you guys from the tribe. It is wonderful to have so many people visiting us this evening. I want to let our congregation know that we are so excited to be hosting members of the tribe, and it is great to have you guys here. This is a partnership that our very own Logan Sembler brought to my attention a while back, and it seemed awesome to not only get together, but get together on a night when we are going to celebrate Israel, Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day, and have a delicious Israeli dinner. So in a moment, I often will say, if it's your first or second time, raise your hand and I won't make you do anything, but you guys will come up and light candles. So you actually will be made to do something. I'm Rabbi Amy Morrison. I'm joined on the bima by Barbara Marin and the Jammin' Jews, these incredible human beings that will elevate us in song. If you came in and saw the St. Pete police officer, I hope that you welcomed him this evening, and if you did not, please acknowledge him on the way out so that we can sit here and just have a really nice time together. Emergency exits, of which I'm sad but happy I need to tell you where they are behind me as well as behind you on both sides. I want to thank Gary for setting everything up and being an incredible human being, and I want to thank Greg for all you do to make sure that everyone can hear us. To our live stream congregation, which is about 31 strong this evening, it is great to have all of you at home or wherever you are tuning in for. You don't have to be in a sanctuary to experience Shabbat. So I hope that all of us have this time together. I see Joe back there also. Joe, thank you for your setup. And in a little bit, we will have a chance to thank Boys in the Hood for cooking dinner for us. So if you are here from the tribe, I'd like to invite you and your prayer book forward as we turn to pages 2 and 5 for the candle lighting and Kiddush. Looks like Logan and Hannah are going to bring everyone up. Oh, there we go. Good job, guys. What? Oh, I'm so sorry. The tribe are 20s and 30s. I'm going to let Logan say it. Oh, jeez. I'll just tell you, Barbara said, I think we aged out of it, Rabbi, and she is right.
We used to be the young people. Not anymore.
It's on.
Hey, I'm Logan Sembler. The tribe is the young adults division of the Jewish Federation, the local Jewish Federation here in Pinellas and Pasco counties and Hernando counties, and I think there's a few others in there. We meet regularly for happy hours and events events like this. I hope to do some more. So this is us. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So we join together on page 2 with the lighting of the Shabbos candles.
Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav ve'atzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah le'mikroi kodesh sechel etziat Mitzrayim. Everyone. Kivanu v'charta miltanu kidashta likol ha'amim. Shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinachaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. Thank you, all of you. You may be seated. Thank you, guys. We turn as a congregation now to page 6. And as the tribe is taking their seats, I invite you to join me in the English on the bottom of the page. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, and hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. As we continue with the service, I invite you to drop any expectations you think I might have or others might have of you and of the next, let's say, hour and 1 minute, as we just take our time to connect. And whether that's connect with something larger than ourselves, connect with the community that sits around us, or just connect within yourself. So if at any point the page I suggest, the reading I do, the prayer we join in doesn't speak to you, find another one, or close your prayer books, or close your eyes, because this time is our time to connect, and I'm so grateful that you've joined us to do it as one community. We continue now with the singing of Lachado D on page 20. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat 9. Face the back. Turn back around. Lechadodi, likra, likra, kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha, lechadodi, likra, kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. You should be waking up. Is that what's going on? I see some bebopping, which I think just aged me way out of the tribe with that comment. And we're going to continue on page 28 with our call to worship, the words of the Baruch Hu. Please remain standing. Remain standing as we turn to pages 34 and 35. As we prepare for the Shema, we have to let go of this week that has seemed like 3 weeks. So take a deep breath in and please, God, audibly let go of what you are holding on to. Ugh. I'm the only one holding that. Let's try it again. Ugh. And now we are ready to not only welcome in the words of the Shema, to take this time to really take the next 24 hours and to welcome in Shabbat, the gift that we receive each week, whether we ask for it or not. It's about our attention and our intention to be present and to take this time to connect. And so as we join in the words of the Shema, I'll remind you we'll remain standing through the Ve'ahavta if it is your custom, and then you can be seated following. Page 34. Bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בעם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. You may be seated. I'm just trying to get you ready for the high holidays. You're welcome. On page 40, we arrive at the words of Michamocha. This prayer said every single time that Jews gather is absolutely a recap of us parting the sea and getting to the other side excitedly with our timbrels and our cheering, and we've made it to freedom. But God reminds us, and I choose to remind each one of us this Shabbat and almost always, that God then says, I know you're happy, but look around you, look behind you. There's people who need our help. And so as we join in these words of freedom, I ask you to do the same. Metaphorically or actually, look around you, look behind you, look at the people you drive past to go to where you're going. Look at those who are food insecure, those who are unhoused. Think of all of those who are marginalized because of who they are, and reach out, draw them near, bring them towards their freedom as we celebrate our own. Michamocha is on page 40. Page 45, our prayer, thanking God for our shelter. Hashkivenu. You're right, Gid. You're right. Page 42. You're right.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomrei L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomrei shalom, the Hashemenu Shomrei. Eloheinu Shalom, Hashemenu Shomrei. Eloheinu Shalom, the Hashemenu Shomrei.
We turn now to page 45. I invite you to join me in this reading, and in a moment we'll turn to the Amidah, the bottom reading. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day. As we turn the page, I invite you to please rise, if you are able, for the words of the Amidah.
Adonai sefatativ takufi agitahilatenka. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'Imaot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nechem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'etzrat Sarah, Atagi Bor Leon Lam Adonai, Mekaye HaKol atah Rav Lehushiha, Mohorid HaTal, Mekachel Hayim Bechesed, Mekaye HaKol Berakamim Rabim, Sohomek Noflim Merofe Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekaye Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Biha Bocha Ba'al Givurot, Umidomelach, Melech Memi Tumakaye, Umatz Miak Yeshua, B'ne'emana Talachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekaye HaKol, Atah Kadosh, Shinka Kadosh, Kadoshim Kol Yom Lakahalu Hasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. We turn to page 58. As we reach in the Amidah our moments of gratitude, I invite you to think of what you're grateful for. I am grateful that we probably don't have enough time to get everybody's moment of gratitude tonight. It's not about Jews in the pews, but it sure is fun to look out and have a full group here. So if there, yeah, I said Jews in the pews, Steve. I did. I didn't coin it, but I did say it. So if there's anything that you're grateful for at our congregation, we really like to bring those out loud, because some of what we find as miraculous, others slept right through, literally or figuratively. And for those of you who are on our live stream congregation, you can continue to text me if that's how you want your gratitude moments to come in. But for our congregation here, I have to repeat what you say so that they can hear it at home, because the microphone is how they get their audio. So any moments of gratitude, I might know what you're going to say, Gid. Yeah, Gideon. That's a lot to celebrate for. So Gideon shared that I think we have 1 week left until Gideon is 31. 3 weeks left. And we're going to know it and we're going to say it. 3 more weeks until Gideon. You said it's hard to believe. It's hard for us to believe. It's hard for me to believe. You're going to be 31 in 3 weeks. And that next week, in the middle of the week, his dad's sister's daughter, so your cousin and Hannah's cousin, is going to be celebrating her 3rd wedding anniversary. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. It's a lot to be grateful for. Absolutely. Yes, Hannah.
I'm grateful to be here with the tribe tonight, and I'm grateful to have friends that are Jewish.
Nice. So Hannah said she's grateful to be celebrating tonight with the tribe, but also grateful to have friends that are Jewish. You know what? That's awesome. Yes, please.
I am grateful to be here all the way from Australia, visiting with my mom and brother.
Awesome.
I used to come to Temple Beth-El when I was younger, so I'm very grateful to be here with my family.
So she's grateful to be visiting from Australia to visit her mom and her brother. And she grew up at this temple. And I have a feeling your rabbi was a little different from the one standing up here, but I think I know probably who your rabbi was, and he's pretty amazing. So it's great to have you here. Shabbat shalom. Yes, please. That's right. This weekend, or yes, that your niece is going to be ordained as a rabbi this weekend. That is pretty awesome. Welcome. Yeah.
I'm grateful that my son is finally doing so much better with his eyes because he had corneal transplants from shingles in the eye. He's been blind in one eye for a year, and he finally got to some terrific doctors, and we're starting to see positivity that he may be getting his sight soon.
Oh, thank God. So I'm going to recap a little bit, but that your son has gotten some treatment for his eyes and that he may regain some eyesight. Is that true? Wow. Grateful for good doctors, finding good doctors, and a lot of prayer. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah, please. Tell me your name.
Evan,
Evan.
I'm grateful for the immense fulfillment I get from being in my tribe, so much so that I travel all the way to Fort Myers
Wow.
and I'm grateful that they give me so much fulfillment that I made the decision to move to St. Pete.
Awesome, Evan. So Evan is visiting us from Fort Myers. He said he's very grateful for the fulfillment that the tribe gives him, so much so that he is choosing to move to St. Pete to be closer. That is great. Yeah, Bri.
I'm grateful that my first year teaching Sunday school went well, and unfortunately,
Me too.
Sunday, but I had a great time.
So Brian taught our pre-K and K this year in religious school, and he said he's grateful that his first year went well. I said I was thankful too, and that he will be teaching again next year. So I'm so glad. Mazel tov on your first year. Yeah, please, Allie.
I'm grateful for the ceasefire in Israel and for the safety of myself and my family.
So Allie shared she's grateful for the ceasefire in Israel and the safety for herself and her family. Absolutely. Marlis.
I'm grateful that my daughter is flying in tonight
Oh.
to see her niece in the play, and then they came for me in free fall, and then flying back to California on Sunday.
Unreal. So I don't know how anyone cannot know this, but it's so important. I'm going to share it from the Bima. Marlis's granddaughter is starring in the play They Came for Me. And I don't know the name of the theater. I forget every time. Everyone else knew, so I didn't need to share it. Free Fall Theater. Jeez, guys. And that Marlis's daughter is flying in from California tonight to see her niece in the play and then flying back out. So safe travels, and I hope for the 18th time you've seen the show that it is as incredible as I hear from everyone. So thank you. Yeah, please.
I am really grateful to have a job that fills me with so much meaning and purpose, and I'm also really grateful to have Sue here sitting next to me.
Nice. So Alicia shared that she's grateful to have a job that gives her so much meaning and purpose and that she has Sue sitting next to her. Welcome. I'm going to voluntold some people. I'm just kidding. You guys are doing a good job. So I'm grateful to see Stephanie on Michael's side tonight. I really am. It's wonderful to have both of you here. Shabbat shalom. Anything you guys want to share? Look at that face. Seriously, Rabbi? Wow, happy to be here. I'm grateful that my kid still wants to go fishing after a very eventful fishing experience with the Jertsons. Okay, so we are going to continue to elevate these moments and make them really into holy by including God in them. And so at the bottom of page 58, We're going to join in this Hebrew, this Chatimah, thanking God for God's thanksgiving, which is a little ironic but amazing also. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ucha nal'eh lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Amen. We continue now on page 60 with our prayer of peace, Shalom Rav.
Shalom
turn our thoughts to those now who are in need of healing, those in this room, those in our lives, in our community, and in this world. In a moment, I'll ask for the names of those you would like to share, but first, the following. We think of Henry Boffman, Janice Brady, Sarah Gastman, Terry Gilner, Barbara Haskell, Lance Lubin, Ellis Maldonado, Frida Marhi, Louis Ortiz, and Elliot Scher. We add Michael Buchholz, Hillary Kavanaugh, Amy Cumming, Ron Foster, Jordana Fuller, James Oliff, Jerry Peters, Caden Riley, Stephen Rudin, Robert Shipley, Stan Silverberg, Jesse Turden, Marcia Turkin, Matt Weitz, and Matthew Sternberg Yee. If you'd like to include any names out louder in your head, I invite you to do so as my hand passes where you're seated. I remind you that there will be a beautiful cacophony of names and that you can just say those names out loud, overlapping one another. For all of those names said out loud and in our hearts, we join together in the words of Misha Berach on page 253. pray for refuah shlema, complete and total healing, and yet I hate to remind you that sometimes that doesn't look the way we want it to. And so we pray for an easy healing or passing. And let us say amen. We now close our prayer books as we take some time for silent meditation. We'll join back together again with the singing of Oseh Shalom, which you can find on page 62.
Shalom shalom aleinu, ve'al Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Shabbat Shalom. It's not over. This week's Torah portion is a double Torah portion. It is taken from Acharei Mot and Kedoshim. And I thought that when we were calendaring this, Sarah Tova and I, we thought tonight's dinner would be perfect to be a Israeli menu. And then we were so glad that the Boys in the Hood agreed, and they're going to explain to you all of the steps that have gone into that. And then we thought when Logan said the tribe's going to be here, I thought, how much the more so, Chal v'chomer, it says in the Talmud, that we talk about something that frankly I talk probably too little about in our congregation, but something I'm going to take on tonight, the day after Israel turned 78 years old. I want to start personally. A while back, I was sitting at a Shabbat table with friends, and somehow, as it always seems to, the conversation turned to Israel. I'm a rabbi, and I seem to always have what do the Jews say about Israel come onto my plate. I could feel a shift in the room. People who were laughing a moment before were not laughing, and they were quiet and more careful and more cautious. Someone even changed the subject, and someone else tried to say something funny to kind of get us off all of a sudden. And the conversation was about to trail off. And I remember thinking, this is really strange. We're people who love being Jewish, we love each other, and yet this one topic makes us unsure of how to speak or even if we should speak, even when we're among family and friends. Potentially, especially when we're among family and friends. Like many American Jews, my relationship with Israel isn't simple. It holds connection and pride and worry and sometimes a lot of discomfort.
all at one time. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. So when we look at Acharei Mot, the first of the two Torah portions this week, it says, Va'al yavo bechol eit el hakodesh, do not come at all times into this holy place. There's a sense that approaching something sacred requires care. And that resonates with me tonight, and it resonated with me then. Conversations about Israel can feel like that inner sanctum, that important, even holy, but also something we approach without hesitation and maybe should have more hesitation, not always sure how to enter the conversation, stay in the conversation, and when to leave the conversation. And then in the next Torah portion of Kiddushim, it says, Kiddushim tihiyu, you shall be holy. Not when things are simple, but right in the middle of real life. Maybe holiness isn't about certainty. Maybe it's about how we show up in the messiness, how we stay in those moments of discomfort, because staying sometimes is louder than saying something that may not be authentic to you. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, the famous quote that says, love your neighbor as yourself, comes from this week's Torah portion. The Torah doesn't say love your neighbor who agrees with you. Love your neighbor as yourself, kisheh, as if you are them. In a community like ours, unbelievably diverse, that might be one of the hardest and most necessary mitzvot that you hear from this bima. Love your neighbor as yourself. Not because they vote like you, look like you, love like you, show up like you. Not because they think about Israel like you, the government like you, or the person who is your partner like you. But we're also told, Hokeach tochiach velo tisa elav chetz. Speak up, but don't shame. I feel that tension a lot. Wanting to be honest and real, but also wanting to preserve connection. One of my favorite rabbis, who happens to be retiring tonight in Miami, said, do you want a relationship or do you want to be right? Hear that again. Do you want a relationship or do you want to be right? So how do we not let difficult conversations turn into those broken relationships? This morning on Facebook, I saw someone who I value put in their status, well, there goes that friend. Didn't like what they said about Israel. And I thought, you know what? That's a real tension. It's a real tension. I was talking to another congregant who said, I can't believe that my family member voted the way he did, and that goes exactly against how I believe. And they claimed it was because of Israel. Sometimes we have to sit in that discomfort. Of course, Jews disagree. That's basically our spiritual inheritance. 2 Jews, 3 opinions, kind of 7 opinions, and at least one group chat that's been muted indefinitely, and you all have them just like I have them. The discomfort we feel now isn't new. This discomfort around Israel, around politics, around things we're told not to talk about at the dinner table, it's not new, but it certainly is real. I often say, if our parents' generation would have said to us the opposite of what was said, how many of you were told, don't discuss politics and religion at the table? We're not able to discuss politics or religion almost anywhere because we never learned how. The Torah says, "Ve'ahavtem et heger," you shall love the stranger. And sometimes in these conversations, many of us feel like that, like we don't fully belong anywhere, like our perspective doesn't quite fit neatly into the categories. This mitzvah asks us to make space for that feeling in one another. Just with a vote internally, not with your hands, how many times do you feel like you don't fit in the conversation you're a part of? So maybe Kiddushim Tihiyu, which comes from these double Torah portions, isn't a call to have the right answer. Maybe it's a call to stay and to remain in a relationship, to listen carefully, to speak with humility, and to resist the urge to walk away, swear, throw things, unfriend, when things feel uncomfortable. So here's my small invitation this Shabbat. At your table tonight or at services or as you're driving home, or when you binge the next show tonight, try leaning into one conversation, not to convene, not to fix it, but simply to understand. Ask a question. Stay curious. Listen a little longer than feels natural. And if the conversation gets a little awkward, you might just be doing something right. Because maybe holiness this week in the double portion of Acharei Mot, afterlife, and Kedoshim, holiness, maybe it looks like staying at the table, having these conversations in discomfort, but having them biyachad, together. Shabbat Shalom. As we continue to count the days between second night of Seder and of receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai, we continue to count the Omer with the following blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified us with God's commandments and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. Today is Friday, April 24th, the 22nd day of the Omer. Amen. It is now my honor to ask you to please rise as we return to our prayer books and conclude our service together, turning to page 282 with the reading of Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latekin la'yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'yeh haratzot, v'lo hosamanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sal kahenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anaknu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malkei hamlakim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'hayach Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hachu yikach Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. Page 290. It's a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. If your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. Our thoughts turn to those who are no longer physically with us, but who are with us in so much of what we do, those whose recipes, stories, perfume smells keep us reminded of who they are and who they were. In a moment, I'll read the names of those in our congregation who we are thinking of, but it was brought to my attention last week of a story of one of those who was listed. And the story that was told to me, I thought, gosh, I wish every week someone would tell me who each of these people are. So I'm almost at the end of my second year here. And I think I maybe recognize 2 or 3 of the names, and yet some of you know every single person who's listed. And so I encourage you at so many different times when you hear the name of your loved one or someone you knew, tell their story, share who they were. Because we say in Judaism, never forget, and we read the names. But God, I think we're forgetting. We're forgetting the people who these names are connected to. So although I won't share the story I was given last week, I do encourage you to share with me and each other. If there is someone on this list who you knew, talk about them. Talk about them tonight, talk about them at other times, because these shouldn't just be a list of names. It's a shame that for some of us, that's what it is. This week, we say the name of Bob Burke, Tina Arkey, Joel Guerin, Gerald Francis Bolton. Those individuals are still within the Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning. And we add to those names those whose Yortzeit's yearly anniversary of passing arrive at this time. Dr. Philip Benjamin, Meyer Braunstein, Samuel Karner, Theodore Carr, Lester Fortunoff, Harry Freeman, Shirley Gaffan, Samuel Glass, Daisy Greenfield, Dr. Louis J. Jacobson, Helen C. Klein, Moishe Lieb Alter Levine, Ruth Lichterman Pearl, Joseph Lieberman, Dorothy Wolfe Miller, Seville Morse, George S. Ott, Fanny Radofsky, Samuel Sagner, Jacob Siegel, Alma Sonnenborn, Bobby Stevens, Milton Teichman, Arlene Verona, Rhonda Winfield. If I mispronounced your loved one's name, I'm sorry. I'll ask that you say it again out loud, as well as any additional names of those who you're thinking of at this time. For all of those names said out loud and in our hearts, we rise as we join for the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach harute v'amlich malchute, b'chai echon uv'yom echon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mivarach Leolam Almeal Maya Yitzbarach V'yishtabach V'yitzpoar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Brechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisroel V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories forever be a lesson and a blessing. And let us say amen. You may be seated. It is my honor to call up Jake Woolman, a representative of our Board of Trustees, to offer some words of welcome, as well as some announcements. As Jake is on his way up here, Rabbi Emeritus Michael Torup has asked me to share that April 25th is the National Day of Action, Stop ICE Warehouse Detention, and that there is a rally, if you want to check it out, at Pinellas Sheriff's Office website.
Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi, for bringing us together. This is a really wonderful time to turn it off, to introspect, and to hear some words that we can all share together. Just take a little moment from our busy week. So I want to thank Barbara for your beautiful voice, and the German Jews for giving us some really amazing energy today. If everyone would take out your announcements. I want to thank Tova and our office staff for putting this together. And you can see that we're currently living in 2026. We have these RFID codes, so we can scan those for information on these events. We have a wonderful website as well that everything here is listed on. There's a lot of ways to get involved in our temple, and I'm so grateful for that. So as part of the board and the incoming president of the Brotherhood, which anybody is welcome to ask me about and give some ideas of how we can get together this year. I'm excited to create some more events and find ways for us to bring joy to each other's lives and community, and really make this temple what our mission is. So a couple things coming up. I want to mention Mitzvah Day first. So if you turn to the back in green, Mitzvah Day is actually Sunday, May 3rd. And I'm not going to go through the whole events, but there's many ways to get involved in Mitzvah Day. So I'd encourage everyone to scan the RFID code, to look it up, and really come to Mitzvah Day on Sunday. One of the things that we can do to help Mitzvah Day is we're supporting the St. Pete Free Clinic this year. And Brenda, and she'll be here at dinner as well, can give some more information about this. But we want to make sure that we're supporting them by bringing diapers and soaps and shampoo and things that we can help fill the St. Pete Free Clinic with. Our temple, as most of you know, is very involved in St. Pete Pride, and St. Pete Pride is coming up in June. So you'll see some dates here and ways that you can get involved, not only with prep, but actually being part of the parade. And we represent the Jewish community, and we come out in force for Pride. So please look into that, and if you're interested, and even if you're your first time in getting involved, I hear it's a lot of fun. Sundays are amazing here at Temple, starting with the Brotherhood Schmooze in the morning. Anyone is welcome to that. It's a wonderful way to meet some new people and have some breakfast as the Sunday school kids arrive. The Sisterhood, which is being activated this year, so we'll hear more about that as well, also gets together Sunday morning. So this is not just a brotherhood bagel kind of thing anymore. We have coffee and sisterhood, and everyone's coming together. So it's a wonderful way to start your day on Sundays. Rabbi's Adult Hebrew School class, I encourage you to look into this as well. There's information in your packet here as well. And I'm going to let you guys read the rest of this, but there's one kind of fun, important thing that I want to announce. So every year we have an annual meeting, and we go through the budget, and we approve the new slate of board of directors, the people behind the scene that make the temple go on. And the annual meeting, which we can RSVP for, is on May 13th. So we have Mitzvah Day on May 3rd, and then 10 days later, doing a little math, the annual meeting. So we're going to have dinner by the Brotherhood as well, which is a wonderful way to get involved. If some of the other things are maybe not for you, there's a whole kitchen of awesome people, and you'll see the food quality that they bring out tonight with the Israeli meal. So meet the Brotherhood. There's probably 10 people back in the kitchen right now that have been working to prepare the meal tonight. So I want to thank them and thank the team here, and wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.
One thing that Jake may have left out of the schmooze is that there's lots and lots of food. Okay, there's bagels, Nova, it's not lox, even though we're in St. Pete. Bagels and Nova, cream cheese, there's donuts, eggies, hot potato thing. Just come, guys, it's free breakfast. It's very fun, and I think to Jake's point, it really is something that maybe started out as religious school parents dropping their kids off, and it has turned into something pretty unbelievable. It brings people into the synagogue on a Sunday, which is not typically our day to come to temple, and it gets people to stay the whole time. So we have New York Times, and we have everything just hanging out. You can bring your computer, and right, Barbara? Yep, sure, okay. Who's ready for dinner? That's what that look was. Okay. Tribe, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. We know that dinner is really the main event on your invite, but I said to Logan, and Logan agreed, synagogue should be someplace where people can just walk into and check out and see what fits for them. So if it is not here, go do Jewish somewhere where it is, because that's what I tell all of you as my congregants. Go do Jewish. It really is not, plug your ears if you're on the board, it's not about affiliation and membership, it's about community. Oh, I got booed. Forget the Israel sermon, the talk about, no, it really is about being Jewish and being in community, and I think that that's a pretty important message to hear from the Bima, maybe more so than anything else. So we're going to join together in our final actually, prior to that, I'm going to ask everyone to please rise as we join together in the singing of Hatikva in honor of Israel's 78th birthday, page 374. If it is your custom to face the Israeli degel, the flag, it is over near the Jamin Jews.
Kolod baleva penima nefesh Yehudi homiha ufate mizrach kadima ayin letzion sofiha Olam tikvatenu, hatikva shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion, Yerushalayim. Liotam chofshim be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion, Yerushalayim.
Remain standing as we join together in the words of Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with our closing song.
Salam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akolam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akolam. Salam Aleinu ve'akolam. Salam. Salam.
Ojavo shalom aleinu. Ojavo shalom aleinu.
Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akolam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu.
Ve'akulam. Salam aleinu ve'akolam. Salam, salam. Salam aleinu ve'akolam.
Salam, salam.
Last time, here we go. Ojavo shalom aleinu. Thank you.
Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Odivo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akulam.
Shabbat shalom. If you're joining us for the dinner, please make your way to registration in the social hall. If you are not, please have a wonderful Shabbat shalom.